People versus Ocaya, GR number L-47448, May 17, 1978. This is for criminal procedure, specifically on jurisdiction determined by allegations in the complaint or information. Facts of the case. The Office of the Provincial Fiscal of Bukidnon, after preliminary investigation, filed an information in the court of Respondent Judge Ocaya, charging the three private respondents Marapao for serious physical injuries. It was alleged in the said information that Mrs. Lolita Ares, the herein private complainant, sustained lacerated wound which allegedly deformed her face, suffered relapse due to her recent child delivery, which incapacitated her from performing her customary labor for a period of more than 30 days. However, no arraignment or trial on the merits took place. No warrants for arrest were issued as well because the respondent judge dismissed the case motu proprio. The respondent judge ordered the said dismissal due to lack of jurisdiction, as he noted that the private complainant's medical certificate stated that the injuries suffered by the latter would require medical attention from 7 to 10 days, and therefore may either be slight or less serious physical injuries only. The respondent judge ruled that what governs in the filing of a physical injury case is the certificate issued by the physician regarding the duration of treatment and not what the victim declares because the same is self serving. The fiscal's motion for reconsideration was likewise denied. Thus, the fiscal filed the petition for nullification before the Supreme Court. The fiscal argued that there was ample legal and factual basis for the charge of serious physical injuries, as the allegations in the information that a fist sized stone hit the face of the private complainant was not only supported by a medical certificate but also by the admission of one of the private respondents during the pre-trial investigation, including the personal finding of the fiscal during the said investigation, where the said fiscal saw a prominent scar on the private complainant's face. Issue: whether the respondent judge erred in dismissing the case due to lack of jurisdiction on the basis of a medical certificate. Ruling: yes. The respondent judge erred in dismissing the case due to lack of jurisdiction on the basis of a medical certificate. The Supreme Court said that it is elemental that the jurisdiction of a court in criminal cases is determined by the allegations of the information or criminal complaint and not by the result of the evidence presented at the trial, much less by the trial judge's personal appraisal of the affidavits and exhibits attached by the fiscal to the record of the case without hearing the parties and their witnesses nor receiving their evidence at a proper trial. It is equally elementary that the mere fact that the evidence presented at the trial would indicate that a lesser offense outside the trial court's jurisdiction was committed does not deprive the trial court of its jurisdiction, which had vested in it under the allegations of the information as filed. since once the jurisdiction attaches to the person and subject matter of the litigation, the subsequent happening of events, although they are of such a character as would have prevented jurisdiction from attaching in the first instance, will not operate to oust jurisdiction already attached. Respondent judges disregard of the established rule that the information for serious physical injuries properly vested his court with jurisdiction to try and hear the case, and that if from the evidence submitted a lesser offense was established, that he equally had jurisdiction to impose the sentence for such lesser offense is difficult of comprehension. Besides, the doctor who issued the medical certificate had yet to be presented at the trial, and conceivably could corroborate the victim's testimony that her injuries had taken longer to heal than had at first been estimated by him, as well as clarify the location of the victim's facial scar. Therefore, the respondent judge erred in dismissing the case due to lack of jurisdiction on the basis of a medical certificate. In applying the foregoing, the questioned orders of respondent judge were declared null and void and ordered the transfer of the case to another branch for a fair and impartial hearing and determination of the case.